Okay, so for level 5, we're going to continue the theme of modal interchange that we started looking at in level 4, and we're going to add one more tonal center to the equation. So now we're really going to have some fun, okay? So we're going to start off with an E flat minor 9 chord. Okay, we're going to have a couple of bars of that, and then we're going to switch to a B major 9 sharp 11. Which is a beautiful chord, even though it's got a long name. Couple of bars of that, and then we're going to go to an A13 chord. Couple of bars of that, and then that cycle is just going to repeat. Now, the thing that makes this one the trickiest of all, and why I've saved it for level 5, is that you have 3 tonal centers here. These are the kind of chord changes you might hear in, jazz rock, jazz fusion. I know fusion is sometimes thought of as a dirty word, but I rather like it. This is the kind of harmony you might hear there. Whereas in more traditional jazz, sometimes the tonal center tends to stick in one place for a while and then move around. In fusion, you might have 3 or 4 different chords with 3 or 4 different tonal centers, like this example. So E flat minor 9, that's our first chord. And we're just going to treat this, as we've been looking at these modes and their characteristics, we're going to treat this chord as a Dorian chord. Why? Because it's a minor chord, the 6 is going to sound nice on it, and it sounds a little bit jazzy, fusiony, if that's a word. So if we have our E flat minor 9, let's look where the chord is, and let's find an E flat Dorian fingering to go along with that chord, okay? Let's also be aware of the arpeggio that brings out the sound of that mode, an E flat minor 6. You can blend that with an E flat minor 7. That definitely sounds like that chord to me, right? So that would be a good place to start. Now, as the tonal center shifts to B major 9 sharp 11. Okay, now, the sharp 11 is really telling us which mode we should use, right? Sharp 11 is the same note as a sharp 4. It's a major chord with a sharp 4. Where have we heard that before? Now we're in Lydian. All right, so we're going to play B Lydian over this chord. And we want to stay in the same position on the neck, so I'm going to use this fingering for it. Yeah, and if you look at the chord, you can see that the F note is in the chord. And that's our Lydian sound, okay? So that's B major 9 sharp 11, and we're playing B Lydian over it. So we've moved from E flat Dorian to B Lydian. And then our third and final chord is A13. Now, a 13 chord is really just a dominant 7 chord, because the 13 is an extension above the 7. It's the 6 added above the 7, right? So for all intents and purposes, let's just look at that as A7. Now, which mode has the characteristics of a dominant 7 chord? If you've been working through this course, you know the answer to that already, Mixolydian. So for this A7 or A13, we're going to play the A Mixolydian mode. We want it in the same area on the neck, so I'm just going to play out of this position. And remember, the characteristics of the Mixolydian mode are a major triad with a flat 7. And the arpeggio, root, 3rd, 5th, flat 7, okay? And there's A Mixolydian. So what we've got to do is we've got to see these 3 modes beneath our fingers. E flat Dorian, B Lydian, and A Mixolydian, and create a melody over the jam track. So I'm going to have a go at that now, and then we'll analyze what I did in the breakdown.